Last night, Blake Lively broke her silence regarding the Justin Baldoni drama, appearing on Late Night with Seth Meyers.
And there's actually video footage of her pointing like this.
Blake Lively is unraveling after Seth Meyers accidentally shattered the illusion behind her polished persona.
Yeah, now I'm afraid to know too much about star signs, but yeah.
It's really hard to watch her now, I can't lie. It is really hard to watch her be this fake person.
Beneath the designer gowns and rehearsed smiles is a woman using motherhood and media spin as a shield. She's no victim. She's the blueprint of elite privilege cloaked in performative empowerment.
What I can say without going too into it is that this year has been full of the highest highs and the lowest lows of my life. And I see so many women around afraid to speak, especially right now, afraid to share their experiences. And fear is by design. It's what keeps us silent.
Let's break down what really happened on Late Night with Seth Meyers in April 2025. Easily one of the most painfully staged, overproduced PR stunts in recent memory. Because nothing says relatable woman of the people like arriving in a massive white wedding gown fit for royalty, then swapping into a whole new look just for the walkout.
She seems to be on this tour that's painting herself as a hero for all women. And it's frustrating how Seth and just Hollywood in general seems to be accepting it.
She entered like it was the Met Gala, not a late-night interview. The dress was so massive it couldn't even fit in Seth's chair. She was practically swallowed by fabric, and honestly, it was so over the top it deserved its own segment.
But right out the gate, there's just a level of awkwardness because, yeah, the dress doesn't fit his small chairs.
There are certain guests where I'm like, I really should just go back to a suit for tonight. This is a fantastic outfit.
Your wedding gown? I love it.
And for what? To sell us on the idea that she's riding the highest highs and lowest lows of her life. She framed it like a raw, emotional confession, but it was classic victim monologue, rehearsed, polished, and delivered with just enough shaky voice to feel human. The most ironic part? This tearful tell-all aired just days after Blake was subpoenaed by Justin Baldoni's legal team.
But you can't believe everything, you know. And, that's what it's feeling like because more evidence and stuff that's painting the picture. Blake Lively's not being honest. And also, what are you afraid of? And what did he actually do?
She's now legally required to hand over texts, emails, every behind-the-scenes message tied to it ends with us. But instead of facing that head-on, she's out here twirling on late-night TV in chiffet and performative humility.
And of course, she spoke to Seth Meyers beforehand on how they could, they had to mention something about everything that's been going on. And she said on his show that she couldn't talk that much about it.
And let's not forget the icing on this PR disaster cake. Outlets like Daily Mail and Page 6 were already dropping glowing puff pieces about the interview before it even aired. That's not organic media coverage, it's a planted press rollout. You don't need to be a Hollywood insider to catch the scent of panic. Blake's team is clearly working overtime, stuffing headlines into the algorithm like a student cramming a paper at 3 a.m. This isn't a press tour. It's a full-scale distraction campaign in disguise.
But I also acknowledge that many people don't have the opportunity to speak, so I do feel fortunate that I've been able to.
I don't know what to say. I feel like right now, the people that are most upset with Blake Lively.
Speaking of distractions, let's dive into her and Ryan's full-court paparazzi blitz. These two are everywhere. Red carpets, talk shows, casually signing autographs on the street in candid photos. This isn't PR anymore. It's a full-blown public saturation assault.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, they're everywhere. We cannot open any website with any entertainment news without seeing them. Wearing something different in every photo, in every occasion, and posing in front of the paparazzi, signing autographs.
Their faces are popping up more than ads for sugar-free gum, and it's no accident. The plan's simple. Line the public with smiles and couture, distracting everyone until the lawsuit fades from memory. Gaslight the timeline, serve up a look, and pray no one realizes your career's barely hanging on by a legal thread.
Smiling, being happy, and feeling popular. It's exhausting. So this is what they're trying to do right now.
And you know how the media responds. They dissect her wardrobe like it's a matter of national security. People magazine ran not one, but 2 whole articles about her outfits. Yes, 2. One of them broke down her white gown. The The same one she couldn't even sit down in, with details about the plunging neckline, layered ruffles, and those bedazzled open-toe heels.
And of course, she arrived in style in a white gown or dress. White is the color of innocence. I don't think that was a coincidence. I don't think anything with Blake Lively right now is a coincidence.
As if we couldn't see it with our own eyes. Then came the second outfit breakdown. Hair half up, half down, soft curls, multicolored drop earrings. Truly groundbreaking. Meanwhile, not a single word about her actual legal drama, the one with real subpoenas and actual accusations.
They're trying to overwhelm us with appearances. So all that negativity that they received will be pushed down in Google and on social media, because now it's all about them looking pretty, looking in love.
And let's not overlook the most narcissistic move yet. Right outside Blake and Ryan's fancy New York apartment, someone, gee, I wonder who, arranged for a poster of a simple favor to be placed across the street. So every time Blake opens the curtains, she's greeted by her name, printed larger than Anna Kendrick's. That's not a billboard, that's a shrine. She's literally built herself a monument to vanity.
A lot more in the movie. She's carrying the movie, so Blake isn't even in it that much. But yeah.
And here's the kicker. The movie dropped on Amazon and viewers revolted so hard that IMDb had to remove reviews. Yes, remove. People were flooding it with 1-star ratings in protest. And the backlash wasn't just loud, it was so deafening that Amazon allegedly had to delay the display of audience ratings.
Please stop. Seattle Times is saying the plot is a mess and the runtime is overlong. The Guardian says another simple favor drops threads and drags on, but survives on its self-assured baseline pleasure.
Let me guess what Blake did next. She put on another dress and ignored it. But critics, they didn't let it slide. The Washington Post slapped it with a 1-star rating. The Seattle Times called the plot a disaster. The Globe and Mail begged, please stop. This isn't a comeback. It's a carefully choreographed breakdown in heels.
To know what's going on. Clips I've seen, it just reminds me that Blake Lively is not a great actress, and apparently Anna Kendrick is a lot more in the movie.
Now let's talk about the Seth Meyers interview. Eka, the softest softball game since T-ball. Seth dodged every real question like he was playing dodgeball with lawsuits. Did he ask about the allegations? Nope. Did he press her on the subpoena? Of course not. So what did they talk about for 5 straight minutes? Ice.
The whole thing is just starts awkward out the gate, and shows just so admits to how controlling this couple actually is.
Emily is a changed woman in this movie. She drinks martinis with ice.
That's very exciting.
It's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
If you saw the first one, you'd understand. Just beef.
Yes, it's like, yeah.
Do you in life have beef with ice?
No, I love ice.
Yeah.
As in literal frozen water. Seth asked if her character in the movie had beef with ice. Then he asked if she had beef with ice. And Blake, trying to be quirky and charming, started singing a Frozen song like she was auditioning for kindergarten karaoke night. We're making ice, ma'am, not your next Disney audition. You're being sued. Why are you singing?
I like ice.
I
think the first time we got an ice machine in a refrigerator.
Anyway, they go on a whole monologue about ice. Blake Lively starts quoting and singing from Frozen, and it even quotes our honest trailer. We are making ice. We did that in our honest trailer. I was proud of that song.
Then Seth pulls the classic, I'm not fully informed on this case line. Translation, I know everything, but I don't want to get sued or lose access to celebrity guests. And Blake, she seized that moment to pivot the conversation into her mommy martyr story about her kids. Because when in doubt, play the motherhood card. She claimed her daughters are her lifeline and that she's got to be Disneyland every day for them. First of all, Blake, you're not Cinderella. Second, you've been bouncing from red carpet to gala to TV set. When exactly are you doing all this Disneyland-level mothering?
It's nice though, because they're honestly, I mean, it's no surprise I've had like a pretty intense year, and like they're just my lifeline. Like no matter what day I'm having, I have to be Disneyland every day for them, and so it's.
They're my lifeline, and then she turned it. You hear how she did that? But she sets it up so clearly open for now. Seth can bring it in.
And let's not forget the whisper at the end. As the interview wrapped up, Blake leaned over to Seth and thanked him multiple times, Not just a casual "thanks for having me," no. It was a desperate string of "thank you, thank you, thank you," like she was grateful he didn't ambush her with a single real question. It was like watching a student thank a teacher for giving them an easy exam. It completely exposes how rehearsed and calculated this whole PR stunt really was.
They're my lifeline. Oh, they've taken me away. And there's one where you're like, oh, it's so sweet. You can go be with your kids because they don't read all the news and they'll love you. They're unconditional, etc. But then she's like, it's like I have to pretend going to Disneyland every day. Oh, it's such a chore for me. It is so hard. It is so hard for me, people. Oh, will you please give me more empathy? Because it's so hard being Blake Lively right now, having to go to my nannies and everybody and all these trips where clearly my kids aren't.
Look, this wasn't an interview. It was a damage control campaign with commercial breaks. Blake showed up in a gown so big it could have had its own zip code, dodged real questions, changed into a second designer outfit mid-show, and fed us lines about her hard year while sidestepping the legal mess she's created. It's not bravery, it's branding.
The whole thing just starts awkward out the gate, and shows you admits to how controlling this couple actually is.
Emily is a changed woman in this movie. She drinks martinis with ice.
That's very funny.
It's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
If you saw the first one, you'd understand why. And it's the women who have had the ability to use their voice that's kept me strong and you know, helped me in my belief in my fight for the world to be safer for women and girls. It's a pretty simple thing, but you know, nothing. Thank you. It's true.